The DOJ has just released a note from assassin Ryan Routh, the man who attempted to assassinate President Trump on the golf course. According to prosecutors, this note was mysteriously dropped off at a witness's house inside of a box with other items. Conveniently, they left out exactly when this box was delivered, but I bet good money it was after Routh was shot at by the Secret Service. Why? Because the note admits that he failed to take out Trump. Now, in a controversial twist, prosecutors detailed the note's content in court records. It reads, "Dear world, this was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump, but I failed you. I tried my best and gave it all the gumption I could muster. It is up to you now to finish the job, and I will offer $150,000 to whomever can complete the job." Not only did Ryan Routh admit guilt, but investigators also found a note in his car, which, get this, had multiple dates and locations of exactly where Donald Trump would be. This guy was not working alone. There is a mole in the Secret Service or the FBI or at the golf course. Somebody let Ryan Routh know exactly where Trump would be so that he could get him. Now, at this point, you would have to be delusional to continue to think that this was a lone wolf, a single man operation. This guy definitely had insider information on how to get Donald Trump. By the way, thank you guys so much for liking and sharing these videos because it really helps me out. Last month, you gave one of my videos over 100,000 views, and the algorithm took that thing to the moon. So thank you guys so much. Now, speaking of bars, thankfully, the judge denied bail, citing concerns that Ryan Routh is a danger to society. But here's where things get strange. Ryan Routh offered a $150,000 bounty on Donald Trump's head, according to the note and the court records. However, according to court records, he's also broke. So where's he getting the money? How did he get to Florida? How did he buy a gun? How's he traveling from Europe to the United States to Hawaii back to the United States? If the guy has no money in his bank account, but suddenly has secret insider information and the ability to travel, again, another clue that something is not right. This guy is definitely being fed information in order to get Donald Trump. Now, in response to the release of Ryan Routh's bounty note, Donald Trump Jr. was furious. In a post on X, he stated, "WTF, why is Kamala's DOJ publicizing Ryan Wesley Routh's putting a bounty on my dad's head?" I mean, it really is a great question, right? The only reason I'm sharing this with you is because it's public information, and I think you deserve to know this. But seriously, think about this for a second. Why would the Secret Service, the FBI, and the Department of Justice release this call for others to jump in and take out Trump? Why would they do that? Because they want him taken out. That's the answer. Think about all of the other details. Like, go back to the other assassin, right? Thomas Matthew Crooks. We can't get photos. We can't get autopsy. They burned the body. They want us to absolutely believe that this guy with no social media, multiple cell phones, encrypted bank accounts, was working alone. They destroyed all the evidence. With this one, they're releasing the evidence because the evidence puts the former president's life in danger. This is disgusting. These people want Donald Trump jailed or dead. Now, at this point, the DOJ absolutely could have left these details out, especially the bounty amount. I mean, we've had shooters' manifestos and notes held back from public. So why is this one different? It seems weird that they would publish this, especially with the increased risk on Donald Trump's life. It seems very purposeful, but please let me know in the comments. Do you think that this whole thing was on purpose? It sure looks like that to me. Also, the federal DOJ is refusing to label this an assassination attempt or attempted murder on Donald Trump. And now Donald Trump himself is calling on Governor Ron DeSantis and the state of Florida to bypass the federal government and pursue this investigation. I mean, it saddens me to say this, but clearly we are living in a new realm of tyranny. There has been a second assassination attempt on our president, and coincidentally, both assassins have been linked to commercials by BlackRock. Both have been linked to a connection to Ukraine. Is this coincidence? Is this symbolism? And why does it appear that both of them are not working alone? I mean, could this have something to do with Ukraine? I don't know. After all, BlackRock and the United States, they're the ones that got the contracts to rebuild Ukraine. Think how many trillions of dollars are going to be made on that. Also, BlackRock just happens to own all the largest pharmaceutical companies, Johnson & Johnson, Merck, and Pfizer. They also forced vaccines, experimental vaccines, on tens of millions of people. Then they raised the price after the American tax dollar paid for the research. These guys are definitely trying to take down Donald Trump, and they're trying to take away our medical freedom. Now, this is what happens when you have a healthcare system that favors profits over people, and when three-letter agencies have been weaponized against the people that they swore to protect. Now, if you didn't see my exclusive interview with RFK Jr. from yesterday, you need to go watch it. In that, we talk about ending the Russia-Ukraine war, the abuse of the American taxpayer, protecting our border, getting these illegal immigrants out of here, and how he's going to dismantle Big Pharma and the FDA so that they will quit poisoning us. And now their next target is a supplement called NMN. Now, they want to turn NMN into the first prescription anti-aging drug, monopolize the market, and then raise the prices. This is what happens when Big Pharma gets a hold of good things. Now, why are they doing this? It's because NMN works. It's a game changer. A recent Harvard study, which you can check out, showed that NMN can help reduce weight, cholesterol, and even blood pressure in overweight adults. This thing has been dubbed the limitless pill and can take 10 to 20 years off your life. It's literally like having the fountain of youth in a bottle. Now, the FDA is attempting to change the status of NMN and to classify it as a drug which has to be received through a prescription from a medical doctor. This is how Big Pharma controls things. This move is not based on efficacy or safety. It's based on putting money in Big Pharma's pocket. Now, just last week, Black Forest, alongside the NPA, Natural Product Association, sued the FDA for trying to take away such a powerful supplement. In times like these, we need to be vigilant. We need to be prepared. And most importantly, we need to take control of our health. Because if we don't, Big Pharma will. So arm yourself, stock up with NMN. I take it every day. I have noticed a change in my own life and my own health. Now, I respect the fact that these guys are fighting on our behalf. They are suing the FDA in order to keep this a supplement that you can get over the counter. And as a thank you to Antonio and Black Forest, I wanted to promote them. But also, they have a very special deal right now. You can get 2 bottles for the price of 1. And you can go through this QR code and get that deal. You can also just head on over to blackforestsupplements.com/Steve, and I'll make sure to put that link down below. Now, check this out. Some big news is coming out. This is according to NBC poll, not ABC, NBC. When it comes to securing the border, the American people trust Donald Trump 54%. And only Kamala Harris 33%. So a 21-point spread. On the U.S. economy, Trump 50. He just crossed 50. Harris 41, a 9-point spread. When it comes to crime, they trust Donald Trump 47% and Kamala Harris 41%, an 8-point spread. This is huge. This means that on the biggest topics facing the American people, they trust Donald Trump more than Kamala Harris. I mean, this is huge. A 21-point spread on the border, 9-point spread on the U.S. economy. That means jobs, making more money, inflation, bringing down the cost of goods, oil, gas, natural gas, and then crime, an 8-point spread. But it gets better than this. Donald Trump, according to the betting websites, now has a 20-point lead in the state of Arizona over Kamala Harris. Now, this has been a predominantly red state that just one time swung to Joe Biden, and then they blocked all of the investigations into the ballots. The GOP, literally these rhinos down in Arizona, tried every trick they could. Lawsuits, lawfare, threats, blocking the investigation, trying to demonize the investigation, which found tons of damning details about missing ballots, double counted ballots, illegals, dead people, addresses with dozens of people voting from an address or an empty lot. But meanwhile, now Donald Trump has a 20-point advantage over Kamala Harris. And it gets worse for her. She has lost 11 points of support among Hispanic Americans. Woo! Isn't that great news? That is a huge voting block. In fact, she's 11 points underwater on Biden and 13 points underwater on Joe Biden. This means that according to Latinos, Kamala Harris is no bueno. She is no bueno for our beautiful Hispanic American brothers and sisters. This is just so amazing. Like, boom, this map is going to, like, we're going to get Arizona. We're going to get Georgia. We're going to pick up Pennsylvania, most likely Wisconsin. Now, Michigan is in play with a Muslim mayor backing Donald Trump and now telling his Muslim brothers and sisters, these are the reasons to vote for Donald Trump. We got to end the war in the Middle East. We've got to end the war in Russia, Ukraine. We've got to bring down the cost of living for Americans here at home. We have to protect our borders. All of these things are resonating. Now, Ukraine's president, Volodymyr Zelensky, is back in America, this time to speak with Biden, Harris, and Trump about his secret victory plan to end the war. Upon arrival, Zelensky toured an ammunition factory in Pennsylvania, which was heavily criticized. This is what Republicans are saying. Kamala Harris used taxpayer money to fly President Zelensky of Ukraine to the United States to give a political speech thanking Biden and Harris for all of the money and the support. Well, guess what? That was our money. That wasn't Kamala Harris's money. Now, this is so wrong, and many are saying that she should now be reviewed for an ethics violation. This was clearly a political move. This had nothing to do with the war. In addition to hoping to get American leaders on board for his victory plan, Zelensky will also likely attempt to convince President Biden to allow him to fire long-range missiles deep into Russia. This is a terrible idea. Like, they're going to use our weapons to attack Moscow. Moscow has already essentially said, we will consider this the beginning of World War III, and we will attack NATO. But guess what? I'm starting to think this is exactly what they want. They want World War III, not Russia. I'm talking about NATO. NATO wants World War III. Otherwise, why give this permission? And why did Kamala Harris and Joe Biden approve moving more U.S. military to the Middle East? I'm telling you, they are dragging us to war. Now, Vice President Kamala Harris has just admitted that she does want to ban some guns. She continues to claim that she is pro-Second Amendment. She even said to Oprah, if someone comes into my house, I'm going to shoot them. She then said, oops, I'm not supposed to say that. My campaign will have to clean that up later. She wrote on Twitter, it is a false choice to suggest you are either in favor of the Second Amendment or you want to take away everyone's guns. I am in favor of the Second Amendment, And I am also in favor of an assault weapons ban, universal background checks, and red flag laws. I want to know what my community thinks. So she says, I'm pro Second Amendment. I want to take away your guns. Well, which is it, right? Because yes, those assault weapons have done bad, but they've also been one of the number one weapons to deter other attacks with guns in the United States. Now, the Second Amendment states the right to bear arms shall not be infringed, which is where the debate starts. Some argue that this is absolute, while others say we have to use common sense to make future decisions. After all, we already have gun laws which prohibit the purchase of weapons by felons. So should we get rid of that law too? I personally believe a ban wouldn't do much good because look at the second Trump assassin. Somehow he was able to illegally purchase a gun as a felon. I'm telling you, criminals will find ways to get guns. It's the good guys that will suffer. Now, after being one of the strictest states on enforcing COVID restrictions, New York's former COVID advisor has just been exposed as a giant weirdo hypocrite. During an undercover sting operation by Steven Crowder, Dr. Jay Varma admitted he took drugs and participated in underground sex parties during the pandemic, while at the same time making everyone's life uncomfortable if they didn't take Big Pharma's miracle vaccine. He then launched a war against unvaccinated Americans as the ones killing everybody, even though the data clearly shows the more COVID vaccines you get, the more likely you are to be sick. I mean, you're literally pumping the spike protein right into your body. But this weirdo admits, yeah, we were doing all these crazy sex parties, these crazy group participation parties, all while telling people, wear your mask, rat your neighbor out, and get that vaccine for heaven's sakes. This guy should be put behind bars. He ruined lives. Meanwhile, that dude was sleeping with multiple people. Unbelievable. All right, the Pentagon has just announced that additional troops are being sent to the Middle East as Israel and Lebanon ramp up war. Over the weekend, video of Israel bombing Lebanon surfaced, and it was one of the largest bombs ever dropped in the last couple of decades. It sent a mushroom cloud high up into the atmosphere. So now Kamala Harris and Joe Biden want to send roughly 40,000 U.S. troops over to fight on behalf of Israel. Now, this measure could be to assist deter Iran from launching a large-scale attack against Israel. Breitbart News reported, and I find this incredible, that all of this is to help Israel with their war. I don't want war, and I don't have a problem with Israel. So Israel is an ally, but ramping up and putting the rest of us in danger, that's where I draw the line. So anyway, we're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of Hamas brutally attacking Israel. And still, Hamas continues to exist. So they need to wipe them out, but I don't know that they can. So what are they doing? Starting a war with Hezbollah, which is only going to irritate the Arab and Islam community. Crazy, crazy. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you. Please hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. We want to get to 1.8 million amazing truth seekers. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much. And I will see you on the